Hi. I almost missed it, didn't I? You would have loved that, wouldn't you? I'm Linda Dano.
And I'm Dee Kelly. Welcome to Attitudes.
Yeah.
We have such a great show, as usual.
I told the audience before the show that they were going to get ice cream. And you are, because Ben and Jerry are here.
They have quite a success story.
Oh, they really do.
You'll be amazed.
You'll be amazed. And what most people don't know about Ben and Jerry is that they are very involved in the environment.
Yes.
And a lot of their percentage of their earnings go to help the world around us, which is very nice. So when you're getting fat, eating that ice cream, you can think, well, I'm helping someone.
A percentage goes somewhere to help.
That's right.
And we're going to be making it today. It'll be fun.
Right.
We have, on a more serious note, Dr. Holly Atkinson, our lifetime doctor, is here with us today. And we're talking about painful sex for women. Women who have a terrible, severe pain during intercourse.
Really?
Yes. And there are a great many out there. It's called vaginismus. And we're going to be discussing why that happens and the hope for the future that we don't have
and that
to
can
live
be
that
fixed?
way. Yes.
Really?
Very definitely.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
All right. We're going to get in shape for skiing. Now, don't snicker.
Get ready.
Don't. This is good.
Yeah.
Winter is coming, and we're going to learn what we should do before we go out on the slopes or stay in the clubhouse, whichever you happen to do.
But it is kind of important to realize before we do any kind of athletic activity, we should really get ready for it, especially skiing.
I guess.
And have fun doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll surprise everybody. Well, we have another surprise, a fabulous guest coming up.
Someone who is a favorite here on Attitudes, and when you meet him, you'll certainly know why.
Very understandable.
Yes, very.
He is the consummate outdoorsman, a rugged Westerner who thrives on adventure and is deeply committed to environmental and social issues.
He is a designer whose clothes echo his lifestyle, just as his lifestyle echoes the kind of sophisticated True West clothes that he creates. He runs his $27 million business from his home in Boise, Idaho. Please welcome back Robert Comstock. Come sit down, Robert.
Hi, Robert. Very nice to see you.
See what I tell you. Robert, so many things have happened to you since you were last here. A lot of exciting things in the way of business, especially. New boutiques opening up. You have your own section in Bergdorf Goodman. You had a big article in the New York Times Magazine. Has any of it changed you? I mean, what's life like now?
It's the same. I would hope that it's crazy. I'm continually on an airplane and we're traveling around, but I've been real happy with the way things have gone for us.
Is it what you wanted it to be?
Oh, the business is continuing well, which is, I think that if a person spends 99% of their life putting into something and they have a lot of intrinsic love for it, then it's nice when it works out, and
yes.
It is, so I feel great about that.
Are you surprised with America's thrill for the Western kind of look and Native American kind of feeling? Are you surprised with that, or do you feel that its time has come?
No, I think it is, definitely. When you look at the roots and especially the tragic past of the Native Americans, I think that it's time that we now study them from the aspect not only of art but of culture, of our natural resources. And we'll be talking a little bit about that today as we go through the collection.
Yeah.
But no, and I think it's a time that has come, and appropriately, and it would be my only hope that Native Americans and would be seen there as it comes in play to fashion, that it would never be a fashion statement, but that it can be seen as an art form.
Yes.
We're going to talk more about that later.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the environment.
Yeah, you are very involved in the environment, and especially species that have become extinct or the possibility of being extinct.
Yeah, a little late for the ones.
Yeah, but tell me how you got involved in all of that.
I live in Idaho, and I'm only 45 minutes away from the Snake River Canyon, which houses the largest population of birds of prey anywhere in the world. Birds of prey being all forms of raptors. That's from falcons and eagles, owls, condors. And the World Center for Birds of Prey is based in Idaho as well. And today we have the opportunity of meeting Dr. Bill Burnham, who's the director of the Birds of Prey. But if you grow up in an area, as I've had the opportunity to do, and you're able to see these majestic animals as you grow up, they do become something that Fortunately, I've been able to see them in the wilds, not only on a postage stamp. And when that happens, you try to interrelate that with your work, and that's what I've been able, hopefully, have been able to do.
Yeah, so you had this love from the time you were a little kid.
Absolutely, yeah.
Was your family involved in all of that?
My family, very much so, in a lot of different causes, not particularly with the birds of prey. But where I grew up, we had elk coming down into our yard when I was very small. I mean, my closest friend until the time I was 12 was like a big Scotch collie, and it looked just like Lassie, and we'd take a lot of, we're really waxing poetic here, aren't I?
Well, you have to say,
But this is who Robert is, which is so nice.
You have brought a piece of film about the birth of a falcon, and we're going to look at it right now.
Right.
Get a better understanding.
The peregrine falcon was really becoming extinct. It had totally disappeared from the eastern seaboard.
Tell us what this is, Robert.
And
Take us through.
this is an actual hatching of a peregrine falcon. Now, as I say, the birds of prey center, the World Center has released birds like you're seeing. This is a peregrine falcon in flight. They're responsible for releasing more than 3,000 birds into the wild. Now, this is a bird that up till around 15 years ago had totally almost disappeared from North America. And the man we're bringing on now, Dr. Bill Burnham, is one of the main persons responsible for their recovery.
Dr. Bill Burnham, everybody. And this is Helen. Say hello to Helen. How old is Helen?
Helen's about 4 years old. It's a female peregrine falcon.
Come, sit down. And now, in the life that she has now, how many other falcons have we saved and are now starting to breed again? Have there been many?
Yeah, there have been quite a number. In the eastern United States, we'd lost them all. All the peregrine falcons had disappeared. In the west, there was only about 10% of what there once was.
Why is that?
Use of DDT. It was only supposed to kill insects, and instead it was caused eggshell thinning, and the eggs would break under the incubating falcon. But over the years, we've released now over 3,000 peregrine falcons to the wild from coast to coast, and the bird is now breeding throughout much of the United States because of these release efforts.
It's amazing. Helen, now, Robert.
I might just interject here that Bill's work and his colleagues extends far beyond America. Bill just returned from the Philippines and is working down in Costa Rica, in Honduras, throughout South America. And the major part is that it's not only in the ecology of the birds, but also saving the rainforest, which at this time we're losing 50,000 acres per minute. Yeah. And
can you imagine? That's staggering, isn't it?
Right.
Can you imagine? I mean, that's some percentage.
Well, it's a reality, and it's what people like Bill are working for, and they work in a lot of land use development decisions with foreign capitals. Yeah. But he could tell you much better than I.
Well, now, Robert, who is such a unique designer because he's so involved with the world around him, as you are, Bill, and Robert, just to give everyone a taste of what you do professionally as a designer, we want to see a few of your clothes, and we're going to come back and talk to these guys again and see Helen again. But let's see, what are we looking at, Robert?
This is Claire, and Claire's modeling a coat, which is the beading on the back is done by Native Americans, by the Shoshone-Paiute tribes. I would like to point out that she's wearing a domestic skin and fur. I don't believe in killing any animal for its fur, like coyotes or wolf or any foreign or animal in the wild. Now this is Elena, and Elena this is actually sheepskin. It's made to look as if it were a coyote.
Yeah,
but
it does.
As I say, we don't kill any animals that are raised, that are killed for their skin. This is Fabio, who is he's wearing a desert washed garment, which is actually it's a cowhide that's been stone washed and torn up and shrunken and then made there. Jeff is wearing again a sheepskin with a hand knit pure alpaca sweater.
This is such an interesting coat.
The coat he's wearing, it's interesting because I found this skin in Europe at an international leather show, and it was used for drum heads, for timpani drums.
That's what they said in the back. I was looking at it, I was admiring it.
Right, and we found a way to put that into an actual garment.
Robert, you're very talented, and it's nice to know that you take what you learn and give it back to the world. We're going to be back more with Robert and with Bill. Don't go away, please. with Robert Comstock and Bill, and Robert, we're showing everyone something new for you. You now are designing for women.
Right. Claire is modeling a dress that it's a two-part. It's a sheep that has been washed very heavily, combined with the denim. That's a pure silver clasp on her side, an arrowhead clasp, again representing the work of the Native Americans. Fabio has a garment on which has all been hand braided, and if I can get him to turn his back to the camera, we'll show an original artwork of Frank Howell, which is that of a Native American braid, and that's all etched by hand into the garment itself. Then we have a Navajo pattern, and it's inside. Maybe, Fabio, can I get you to just lift your coat up? I want to show them the patch on the back of your pants. Can I slip over here?
Sure, Robert, go ahead.
Okay.
Because we're talking...
Fabio,
Wait,
just a
Fabio, wait.
second. This is a patch which we probably can't get a good picture of, but
Yeah,
the beading is done by the Native Americans, by the Shoshone Paiutes. And
That's
the funding,
nice.
the monies go directly to the tribal members.
Now, this is a cottage industry that you really began, an organization that you started?
It's one we've started, thanks, Fabio. It's one we've started and are trying to help out.
And it's called TOFNE.
TOFNE. It stands for the Organization for Native American Entrepreneurs.
Great.
Elena here is wearing a shap skirt. These are pure silver feathers that were hand-carved by an artisan in Santa Fe, and they have an extension of horse hair on their bottoms, the bottom of the feather, and that comes from a woman who's preserving, or not preserving, but she takes care of animals that have been badly treated, specifically horses. They're brought to her ranch, and then we buy the hair that is cut from the bottoms of the tails to provide the feed to the horses. It's one of the things that she does.
Fabulous.
Jeff is wearing in fact, Jeff has a shirt on. Jeff, could I get you to just pull the lapel back? That's an emblem of the World Center for the Birds of Prey. And $5 from the sale of every shirt goes directly to the World Center.
That's great.
Where could they buy that? Where could our audience buy that?
They could buy that in any of the stores that we sell, better specialty stores across the country. Louis of Boston, Bergdorf's in New York, Wilkes-Barre in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Great. Tell us some more. Isn't that great? Tell us some more about the Peregrine Fund.
Well, the nicest thing about the Peregrine Fund is that the people there, every dime that a person would donate, and I've been told by Linda, and well, Dee, you mentioned it as well, that there is a mailer that goes out after the show to anyone
Yes,
who's...
our tip
Our
sheet.
newsletter.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
tip sheet.
And we can tell them all the particulars.
Yeah,
of-
if you could, because every dime goes directly to the center, and nobody drives Cadillacs at the center. Everybody really is totally dedicated to the preservation of these great birds. The thing I would just like to point out is that they live atop a very complex food chain, just as we do as human beings. And that food chain, as Bill mentioned, at the very bottom, the insects were being sprayed for DDT, which worked its way into the animals, the rodents that fed upon the grains, later fed upon by small birds, and ultimately by the eagles and falcons, which manifested in the breaking of their eggs. So the studies that are made, and they are ongoing, it's a totally nonprofit organization, so I really would urge people to please support.
Let me ask Bill something. Bill, how did we get to this? I mean, how did we as a country and a world get to a point where so many things are endangered? Did we not care? And secondly, how do we stop it? Really stop it? As individuals, what do we do?
Well, I think a number of things have contributed to the situation that the world is now in with, as Rob mentioned, the rainforest being lost at 50 acres a minute and species disappearing from existence every day. There are so many of us in the world, and we require so many resources that it is pushing some of these other animals and plants out of existence before, in many cases, before we even know they are around. What can be done about it? Well, there are a number of things. I think it's very important that you're concerned about wildlife and the environment and our natural systems, and that you're very careful in how you use those resources. And you use them correctly, and you encourage others to do so. Also that you participate, that you're a partner with the organizations that you believe in.
There are so many, the charity and organizations, the Wildlife Foundation, and so many that you can support financially. But do you feel that it helps also to become a voice with government? The congressman they do listen when you write letters to your senators and congressmen regarding a species that might be endangered. Does that help?
Yes, it certainly does.
Get your pen and paper out? Because I think it's one letter that you write to a congressman means that 5,000 or 10,000 people are actually involved. So it's very, very important to be vocal and not just sit and feel badly that something is endangered, but get involved directly.
Actually, the bill spends a great amount of time in Washington for that specific purpose. So again, this lobbying's been very important.
You have to get money from government. It's very important. It's there. You just have to tell them that that's what you as citizens want them to use it for. We have some more models.
Okay.
This is for evening.
This is your evening, right?
Okay, right.
This is
Robert
all black,
Comstock.
I understand?
My interpretation.
Your interpretation of evening.
Under the stars, yes.
Oh, my.
This is a cape that's in an all wool and with a Navajo pattern on top. And as Elena turns around, you'll see the reproduction of a Frank Howell painting.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
This is in black Napa leather, and then a hand-painted face of the Native American on the back.
That is spectacular. Look at the front of this, everybody. Show the front with the pockets. The pockets are great.
And that's braiding on the back?
Right, that's all hand braiding. It's really three-dimensional. The braids of the Native American actually flow to the feathers, and the feathers are a combination of suedes and nappas.
It's so active.
That's really spectacular.
All right. Thank you, Elena. This is the major duo here. Fabio's wearing an all shearling jacket with a covering of an all cotton rubberized outerwear rain piece.
Beautiful.
And the outside piece zips to the shearling undergarment.
So you can wear it without
That's right.
the overgarment?
If the top garment were to be unzipped and take it off, it's an all
It's an all black.
an all black
Right,
jacket.
shearling coat.
Rainy
Oh,
winter
that's
days.
great.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a raincoat and a regular coat all the
How
time.
much is that retail?
That's about $3,500.
Gorgeous.
The garment that
You'd have it forever. You would.
Please don't ask prices. The garment that Jeff is wearing, again, it's an all deerskin blouson. The back is again a beading. Those are glass beads, Czechoslovakian
Jeff,
glass
turn around.
beads.
Let's see the back. There you go.
And they're hand beaded again by Native Americans. So it's really a wonderful thing when you're working with modern day Native Americans that have such an appreciation for what their ancestors did and are still able to do it.
And preserving the culture
Exactly.
at the same time.
Look at
Exactly. Absolutely.
Is this suede?
This is Claire's wearing a deer chamois.
Yeah.
Again, this is beaded with a black Czechoslovakian cut glass bead. And I say Czechoslovakian because Native Americans always did their beading with glass beads from Czechoslovakia.
Oh, did they?
That's where the best beads came from. They're very minute in size.
And some of the prettiest crystals come from
That's
there
right.
as well.
That's right.
They look
You know-
absolutely sensational.
Audience, you never want to, as host for a show, to get gushy about guests because you're not supposed to do that. They tell you that in meetings. You could get gushy about this guy.
Thank you.
He is more than just a designer. Yeah.
Wonderful.
He really cares, and I hope to God he made you care. Bill, thank you. And thank you, Helen.
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you, Robert.
Very nice
Again.
meeting you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
You were wonderful.
Nice meeting you.
Coming up next, a segment for the ski obsessed. You don't want to miss this. Robert, wonderful as always. Come as a great shock to all of you. I actually like to ski. No, I really mean it. I like to ski.
I know. You do.
I'm not real good at it, but I do like to ski.
Were you ever afraid to ski because of work? I never was able to really ski a lot, snow ski, because I was always afraid I was going to break my leg and not be able to work.
No, I never really thought about that.
Really?
That's
how practical I am.
First time I ever went skiing, I was with Frank. I'd come to New York, and I was in between a show. I was doing a two-parter, and part of the deal was that they were going to fly me back to California to finish the show. And it was the first time I met his daughter. And I came down a slope, you know, trying to show that I could do this and I wasn't some wuss. And I come down the thing and I hit a rock and I almost break my back. I have to now go into the medic's tent and I'm there and they take me to the emergency hospital. I mean, that was the end of it.
Well, that's because you didn't get in shape.
That's right.
Before you started.
See how I led you right into that?
Which is the whole point of this segment. Yes, sirree, Bob.
That's right.
Well, you have to get ready for skiing, like any other sport, but especially skiing. And we have Maureen Curran
Right.
and Sal Marinello,
Right.
who are from +1 Fitness, everybody. There they are.
Don't they look
us.
like skiers?
That's right.
Of course they do.
To show us what to do to get in shape.
Okay, now we're supposed to do certain exercises to get us in shape for skiing.
In shape, yes, and the
Okay.
warm-up as
I'm
well.
going to put these down.
So the
Put
first
those
thing
down.
we're going to start with is a good stretch.
All right.
Dee, why don't you take a sit on the mat?
Me sit here?
Yep, and Sal's going to demonstrate in the back.
Okay.
Legs
Oh, I'm
wide
so
open.
Wide open?
Good. Now don't go too far.
I know, I was...
That's it.
No holds
Okay.
in the tights
All right.
here.
This is a great stretch for your adductors.
For your what, hon?
Adductors, inner thigh muscles, and
Adductors.
hamstrings. Yes, adductors.
Aha.
Okay, what you want to do is lean to your left leg a little bit. That's it. Hold, breathe, come to the middle now.
Oh, good.
Forward. That's it. Oh, that's not the middle. This is the middle.
We're still in the middle?
I'm following you.
I know, we did it together.
Head down, head down. Okay, hold. Now switch to the right. Good, and hold.
How come I can touch my toes and you can't?
I can.
you can.
I'm just
Longer
being
arms.
graceful.
Great. Okay, come back to the middle. Hold the inside of your knees and pull them inside.
How do you mean in?
You're just going to relax out of the
Oh,
stretch.
good.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice
I like
way
that
to come
part
out
best.
of it, Dee. Just pull up like this. Okay. and that's
Okay,
it.
we ready to
One
ski
stretch
yet?
of many that you should do.
Great.
Let's move on to a strengthening exercise.
Okay.
There's more of this.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, now.
Come on up from
I'm
the
coming
mat.
over to her.
Now, do we do
Yeah.
the back
Watch
thing?
us.
Okay.
We're going to demonstrate an isometric exercise. It's going to strengthen your quadriceps. It's called the wall sit. Okay, and what you
I've
can do
seen
is you
it.
have a wall. Come on up. Is use that, but we're going to use partners today.
Okay.
Dee and Linda, you're partners.
Okay.
Do we stand up? Back to back. Lock
Don't make me
arms.
look bad.
Lock arms. Nice and easy there.
Like so.
Take one step forward.
On both
and
legs?
Both legs. And now, nice and now sit, hold it. Come on, back
You're
up.
leaning on me.
I am. All right.
Yes, you are.
Okay, let's try it again. This time
What is she
Okay. All right, ready?
This time I want your knees forward.
Are you on the mat?
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
move the mat, no?
Yeah, I'm on a hill.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting... Here we go. You're so
One
hot.
step forward.
She's so hot.
One step forward together. Oh, we forgot your step
What am I
forward.
doing?
You're going down.
Okay.
And
We did it. We're done now. Great.
good job. Come on
Did
up.
we do great? Okay, what do we do? We get up
gonna stop?
now?
Okay.
Come on. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I can feel
Okay.
that.
We'll show you one more time.
Now we're going over to the
One more time.
Wait,
Lock arms.
Okay.
Take one step forward and sit.
Sit.
Oh, I get it.
Okay,
now
come
Dee,
up.
come over here. Take one step forward.
One step
Okay.
forward
Down.
and you bring. Okay, don't
Back
go
up.
quite so.
That's
All right,
we did it.
we can use a wall next time.
We'll use a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, on to the next.
Now, all the way over, Dee. All the way over.
Oh, all the way.
Okay, over here we have mini tramps.
Okay.
Now this will be nice for some balance, coordination, and a little bit of agility and aerobic work. Okay.
Okay, now we'll do it.
Great. Now
Back
we're
and
gonna,
forth?
Yeah, we're going to spot you. This time I want you to go 3 bounces,
3 bounces,
on each
over,
tramp.
3 bounces,
So
over.
it's
Not
1,
leaving.
2, 3.
1,
2,
3.
3.
1,
This
2,
is safe.
3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
2.
1, 2,
This last time?
1, 2, 3, and rest.
But what do you do
Great.
at home when Sal, the darling, isn't there with me? I mean, who holds me?
Okay, well this is great if you're in a gym
You
or
go
you have a
flying into the
training partner.
refrigerator.
It's not something you would want to do by yourself.
No.
Okay,
Oh, you don't
now
do
we're
this
going to
by
go
yourself.
straight
No.
over here.
No.
Because that's a little dangerous,
Yeah,
isn't
no, that's
it?
why you need a partner for that.
Okay, now we pick these up.
Now this is something you could do by yourself. It's a little more expensive. Let me just step on and show you quickly
Okay.
what it.
What is this called, Maureen?
This is called the ski machine.
The ski machine.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So this simulates skiing.
Simulates downhill skiing. You want to stand close with your feet to the edge. Keep your head up and just go left to right. Okay, don't lean forward on
This
the
is
poles.
probably good for your thighs, isn't it?
Yes, again, it's
Yeah.
a very good isometric.
Thank you, Sal.
Okay. Now
Now-
push
Now-
off left to right on the insides of your feet. Push push, push. You want to get as far to the left and right as you can.
It's like,
Good.
there you go.
That's it. Now lower yourself a little bit.
That's perfect.
Keep your head up.
I feel the
That's
wind in
it.
my hair.
Stone in your belt.
Yes.
Push. Chin up.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Oh,
it.
this is really. Oh, yes.
Good.
I can do this, John. Can you stand yourself? I mean, let's hear it for me. I never do anything. Thank you. Enjoy sex. Come back. Look at this. Great. Sex is an important part of any couple's life together. It can be a wonderful expression of love between two people. But for many women, it is anything but wonderful. For them, making love means severe physical pain. One of the causes of this is a condition called vaginismus. There are many possible causes, some physical, most psychological. This is Susan. As a young girl, she was sexually abused by her brother. She had no idea that the emotional ramifications of that trauma would later prevent her from making love to the most important man in her life, her husband. Also here with us today to tell us more about this problem and how it can be cured is Dr. Holly Atkinson. Please welcome them both. Hi, Holly.
Hi,
So
Dee.
nice to have you here as
Good to
usual.
see you again.
I'm going to start with Susan. Susan, tell us what happened and how you felt when you tried to make love with your husband.
When we were first married, I just experienced an immense amount of pain when we were making love, and knew that it was probably because of what happened to me in my childhood, but didn't know quite what to do about it.
Did you discuss what had happened in your childhood with your husband?
Yes, he knew about it before we were married, but I don't think he knew either what would happen in terms of our physical life.
And how did this happen on your wedding night?
Yeah, I just remember, particularly on our wedding night, I was really fearful of the wedding night and what that would mean. And in fact, I had asked him ahead of time if we could avoid making love that night, just because I felt so much pressure for the wedding night.
So was he aware of this problem prior to your marriage?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Now, Holly, tell us how common this is.
We really don't know, Dee. Some of the surveys that have been done show that the very severe vaginismus, which means that on the first attempt of intercourse, nothing can happen. It may be 1 to 4% of couples. But I want to make a point here that every woman with vaginismus doesn't necessarily have as severe a case as Susan does. They may have partial vaginismus, which means they can have intercourse, but it's painful. They may go for years and years and years with uncomfortable intercourse and may think that this is just normal and not realize that it's a condition that's highly treatable.
Now, Susan, let me ask you, when you went to a gynecologist for your regular pap smear, did you do that regularly?
Well, actually, the way I found this OBGYN is that I'd been seeing a woman for therapy in terms of emotional counseling to work through all the emotional issues, and she referred me to the OBGYN to rule out whether there was anything physiologically wrong that would be causing the pain. And once we ruled that out, then he was able to diagnose vaginismus.
See, that's very important, Dee, because there are many different causes of pain on intercourse. Actually, the word we use is dyspareunia. That word means pain on intercourse. Vaginismus is a certain cause of that, and what vaginismus is a spasm, an involuntary spasm of the muscles around the vagina.
Like a Charlie horse?
Yeah, it's almost like a Charlie horse. As a matter of fact, one of the analogies that's used, and I think it's very good, is that if I come at you with something, you're going to blink.
Right.
And it's a protective reflex where you blink your eye muscles to protect the eye. Vaginismus is very similar to that. It's a protective response that the woman has no control over.
Now, what is the difference between vaginismus and frigidity?
Very important difference. A lot of people think it's the same thing. Women with vaginismus can be interested in sex, have great sexual desire. They can have orgasms. If they are manually stimulated by themselves or their husbands, they can go on and have orgasms. It's just that they can't have intercourse because of this spasm that's going on.
Susan, when you were getting your exams with your gynecologist, during the exam, was that painful also? Any kind of penetration? Can you use a tampon?
No, that's not a problem, and the exam itself wasn't a problem. Fortunately, I had an OBGYN who knew about this and was well educated, and could tell me that I still had this condition, but that it was related to having intercourse.
We want to talk to your husband, who is on the telephone with us. He had to be at work today and obviously couldn't be here. But a marriage partner, as Holly and I have discussed, is so crucial to be able to cure this. Hi, Joe. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Joe, what was this like for you when you realized that Susan had this problem when you were first married? Did you think that this might be a reason that the marriage would not work? Were you terribly shocked by this news?
Well, I don't know if shocked is the word. I would say frustrated. It was kind of an unknown, not knowing was it me that was causing it, or was there anything that I could do to avoid it?
When Holly and I were talking about it, the old data regarding what men should do, the Freudian work that they did, the surveys and discussions regarding what men should do when a woman seems to have this problem. Holly, tell us what they said.
Well, I have to admit, I was offended by some of the older literature that was written back in the 30s and the 40s and even in the 60s, because it suggested that the reason why women had this problem is because they had penis envy and they wanted to get back at men, and this was a way to castrate men. And
Can you imagine?
That one of the ways that if a real man was dealing with this problem, that he might be able to overcome mild cases with a little bit of force. This is exactly what a woman with this problem does not need, because there is a big power issue in there. Susan, did you find that in your own therapy, that power was a real central issue for you?
Yeah, the abuse that I suffered had nothing to do with sex as much as it did about power. And I must say I've been incredibly blessed with a very gentle and patient husband. And I don't know that a lot of women are that fortunate, but I'm glad I was.
Well, that's really key, because that can make the difference in whether or not treatment is successful, because if it's approached in the wrong way by the couple, if it becomes something that is a bone of contention, they argue, they don't communicate, or he forces sex on her, that only makes her fear of all this worse, and actually the vaginismus will get worse.
How do we cure it? How do you get beyond this obstacle?
One way you don't cure it is with surgery, and a lot of women think that maybe something is anatomically wrong with them, and they will let doctors do surgery on them.
So this is a very important point that we have to clarify right now.
No
it is
surgery for this.
It's a psychological problem that is manifested physiologically with the pain.
Right. And
but it's 9 times out of 10 psychological from some sort of trauma?
Yes. Very many times. We really don't know what causes this, but there are certain experiences in a woman's life that's associated with it. We heard about one of them with Susan. Adult women who have been raped, women who have had very painful childbirths.
That's interesting,
may
isn't
develop this. If women have had a very bad experience with a physician in a GYN exam, she may develop this. Or a woman who had a very bad experience on her very first intercourse.
Yeah.
Or with
or
parents.
An unhappy marriage or relationship?
Well, especially with parents who had a very negative attitude toward genitals or sexual relationships in general, they'll bring this into their marriage. They'll be afraid of it.
Susan, how do you feel now?
We've come a really long ways. We spent about 6 months working with this OBGYN in counseling and learning how to have sex in a positive way.
And your therapy is helping you?
Immensely.
It's really behavioral therapy, Dee. You go home, you've got lessons to do. And
with each other?
Well, first of all, the woman does it alone, and then she brings the husband into it. Then they progress to intercourse. And the key to all this is that the woman does it at her own pace, and she feels in control. 95% success rate.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say that for other women who are experiencing this, you can get help, and that's the main reason I wanted to do this today, is to let them know it doesn't have to be painful for the rest of your life.
And
so
they're not
seek
alone.
out somebody who can help you.
Great. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. We're were pals in the 7th grade. Their dream was to open just a little ice cream store. Well, they did. Only their dream grew way beyond anything they ever wished for or wanted.
From an initial $12,000 investment in 1978, I think $4,000 of that was borrowed, their company last year had sales over $47 million. But success hasn't spoiled these small-town boys. Please help us welcome the kings of ice cream, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, better known as Ben and Jerry.
Thank you.
Great. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Now,
Great to
before
be
we
here.
start, take a shot of our audience. These guys were generous enough and brought everybody ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Whoa, and they're stuffing themselves
Isn't
even
it
as we
delicious?
speak.
We find
So
that when we
natural.
go somewhere, people really enjoy us a lot more if we bring ice cream, and it doesn't matter what we say or what we do as long as we give them something to
Give
eat.
them something. Yeah, we're all sort of alike, aren't we?
Yeah.
What are we making today?
Oh, we're going to make some ice cream. We're
Great.
going to, you know, do it up in a rock, salt, and ice freezer, just like you would do at your home. And Ben has brought some special ingredients to put in at the end. Rainforest Crunch, which is a nut brittle, which you'll talk about.
And yeah, we should talk about that. Tell us how this
We
got
should talk
started.
about that.
You talk about it.
This is the Cashew Brazil nut brittle. This is your, you know, we had our environmental clothing earlier. This is your environmental candy.
Right.
We get the cashews and Brazil nuts direct from the rainforest in Brazil, from the people who harvest them. And it's part of a project to demonstrate that the rainforest can actually be more profitable as living rainforests than by cutting them down and turning them into cattle ranches.
And don't you give 40% of those profits
That's
to-
right. 40% go
to-
back to environmental
Good for you.
groups,
Good
and
for you.
20%
That's
goes
great.
to 1% for peace. So you know you can.
Who wants to
Okay,
keep
boys.
their
Start the demo.
profit?
Then.
We're
Let's start the
all
demo.
right. You're
All right.
rich
Come
enough,
on, let's
for goodness
let's
sake.
roll it here.
Let's
Here's
make
the,
ice
Julia's-
cream.
Ben is going to be doing the actual work here.
Okay.
First, you
Notice
take
Two eggs.
two eggs. I think we're going to transfer into the large
Into the big bowl.
Oh yes, into the large
Throw
bowl.
it in
Can I
there.
transfer now?
Yeah,
Transfer it
sure.
this time.
Transfer.
Ready for transfer?
What
Yeah,
you're
there we
looking
go.
for here is light and fluffy. That's
Okay.
so when you think
That's
Ben's
good.
been light and fluffy, then we're taking 3/4 of a cup of sugar.
All right, just sprinkle her in there, Jer.
You sprinkle it in.
Oh
Don't
yes,
just dump it
he's
in.
got good technique here.
Did you guys love ice cream as kids?
Yeah, how did this really
Well,
begin?
we
Very
loved
much.
most food when we were kids, but we decided to go into ice cream kind of because Ben's father always used to eat it for what he claimed was medicinal purposes. He would sit down with a half gallon of ice cream and
Oh my gosh.
just
Did he
have a
live
big
to a
milk
long
there.
life?
Pour the milk there, Dee.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
right.
There
All
we
right.
go. Excellent. Ooh, nicely done. You got good
Nicely done.
technique.
Yeah,
You've been
well,
pouring
This is
milk for a
one
long
cup of
time?
milk if you're keeping track.
One
Okay.
cup of
The
milk.
idea is you want to mix this up until the sugar is dissolved.
Where did you get this recipe?
We kind of made it up in our
We
kitchen.
thought it up, yeah.
Do you do that a lot? I mean, when you how many varieties do you have? Has Ben and Jerry now?
Boy, well, you know, we've made probably over 200 flavors. We package our ice cream for grocery stores, and there's about
Right.
12 flavors there. And then we scoop ice cream out of our ice cream shops, and we have 34
Dump it
there.
there.
And
Dump it.
I heard a rumor that you actually dream about the titles of your ice cream, the new
I
names.
think Ben can take credit for that.
Are you the crazy one
well,
in
you know,
this family?
there is such a
Ah.
thing as the collective flavor unconscious. And, you know, there's been some flavors that have been kind of swimming out there in the unconscious
Right.
for, you know, many years
In the
now.
cosmos.
Right, one of them is
Ben's
New York
not
Super
married.
Fudge Chunk.
Needs a woman. You need some activity.
Okay.
New York Super Fudge Chunk.
Wait a minute, we wanted some action here.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay,
I'm
now
gonna leave it right
we're
here.
supposed to take this off,
That's
though,
right.
right?
Pull
And
the-
I've
you
got
want to-
salt
I
here.
think this
Here,
might be my
boys,
turn.
take
And
this
this is
off.
Jerry. Jerry's
I've
really
done
good at this.
before.
He's got
I'm
excellent
going to show you
technique.
how to do this.
Jerry was the chief ice cream maker at the shop. You know,
okay.
I was stuck being the crepe maker, and the crepes never really made it.
Hold off on that salt.
Right, hold off
Okay.
on the salt. You want me to dump this in there, Jerry?
Yeah, we'll bring it out here to make it a little easier for you.
What is your
Okey-dokey, here we
favorite
go.
flavor?
I eat an awful lot of Heath Bar Crunch. You know, it's vanilla ice cream
Yeah.
with
Yes,
chopped
we
up
know.
Heath Bar
I think
candy.
everyone knows what it
Sort
is.
of eat that. What
kind of
about
the,
you, Ben?
I kind of like to eat around, you know. I eat back and forth. I do Cherry Garcia. I do New York Super Fudge Chunk. I do Mocha Walnut.
Okay.
You know,
Do you guys ever get sick of ice cream? Does that happen?
Do we
like
look
eating?
like we get sick of
Not really.
How's your cholesterol?
we're really good eaters. You know,
cholesterol.
we're not the kind of people that mothers had to coax to finish
Done
their
this
plates.
I do, but
What's the problem here, Jerry?
oh, there.
Very nice.
There's,
Very nice.
now, we have
Can
to
we
throw
put the ice in? We want to
and-
layer the ice and the salt. You be the salt person,
Okay.
you be the ice person. Salt,
salt.
There you go. Oh, that's layering more or less. There you go. Come on, heavier on the salt. Salt. More salt. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. Is the ice lady done?
Good.
The ice lady's done.
We have some more ice. My
we have more ice.
disappeared for a second.
Excuse us. Oh, there's more ice.
What the salt does is it lowers the freezing point of the ice.
There we go.
I'm blind.
We've got that involved here. Can we start cranking it, Ben?
I don't know. I think usually buying
Yeah,
Ben and Jerry's is probably a smarter idea.
There you go.
No, this is a shared family experience. You know, you have very good thing.
How about the, can we add in the Rainforest Crunch? I'd like to see the Rainforest Crunch. Whoa, look at that Rainforest Crunch, will you? This is cashews, Brazil nuts, and
Can I
very
stop now?
I'll take over.
chop it up.
Slow and steady. This is
Excellent. You're gonna do some of this.
That's how you make ice cream?
Oh yes, with the hammer. Very nice, very nice. Now, can you gently sprinkle the lumps of Rainforest Crunch into this pre-softened vanilla ice cream here?
You can use
All right, we don't want to smash them up too much because you want nice hunky chunks. You don't want these mini itsy bitsy little pieces of chunk that you get from most of your other disgusting major brands. So this is really good stuff. Wait a minute. The fines. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
Now the nice part about this is that as you mix this stuff around here, the Rainforest Crunch will just kind of gently melt a little slightly. So you've got your crunchiness, you got your meltedness, and this is all really good. Wait a minute.
Now listen, come back and we'll try this.
Yeah. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. There you go. There you go.
Delicious.
We are back.
Now, Jerry, how long does that take if you were really making your own?
This takes about 20 minutes, and you can see I'm not working that hard. This is a leisurely afternoon. Oh, yeah, this is just the way it goes.
It's a lot of fun for kids. Kids can work on this with their
you get the whole family together in the backyard.
You guys, we said that you get 40% of the profits of the Rainforest Crunch, but you give a percentage of your other part of your company, too. Like what?
Yeah, well, 7.5% of Ben & Jerry's profits go back to the foundation, and that gets distributed to various community groups. And, so it tastes good, and people have a good time.
See, everybody, we can all get involved. Ben and Jerry, everyone. You can get the recipe on the tip sheet. Don't forget, write to us. To receive the Lifetime Attitudes tip sheet with information on today's show, call 1-900-773-4040. Today's show and issue number is 7. The cost of the call and tip sheet is $2. To avoid ordering duplicate tip sheets, please check your issue number before placing the call.
If you would like tickets, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Attitudes Tickets, 3412 36th Street, Astoria, New York, 11106, or give us a call at area code 718-706-3575.
Tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m., 2 Central, Lifetime's own Jane Wallace reports on her career as a journalist on Attitudes. Lifetime puts more Christmas cheer in your holiday with the Lifetime afternoon movie. Coming up, he couldn't, he wouldn't. Santa wants to cancel Christmas, and it's up to one little girl to show him the error of his ways. Charles Durning is a Scrooge in Santa's clothing in the holiday adventure It Nearly Wasn't Christmas. Next.